Okay, let's take a look at the assignment 2, hands-on exercise 1. We're going to be looking at relative cell references, absolute cell references, and mixed cell references. And I'll talk about each as we get there. First thing I notice is that I downloaded my file, but it's as data. So I need to change my file by doing a quick save as. So I'm going to do a save as, go to my BA 285 folder, chapter 2. Here's where I have data. And I'm going to change the word data to my last name. You'll need to do the same on each one of your assignments. So I'm going to go save. Now I can move forward with the assignment. So if you're following along, we have just completed step 1A. We're going to click inside of D10 and we're going to start a formula. And what I want to do is I want to figure out the amount financed. And I know that the amount financed is my sale price minus my down payment will give me the amount I would like to finance. So I'm going to go equals, and I'm going to click in B10 minus my down payment. Now, I would normally use my keyboard and go Control Enter to keep my cell the active cell. But I can also go up and click this little checkbox and notice my cell remains right where it was. My formula goes in, I can see my results, and I've stayed in the D10 location. So that keeps my cell the active cell. And when I copy this down, okay, first of all, let me go into F2. This is my reference. So I'm going to hit escape. When I copy this down one space, I would want my references to move relative to how I copied. I went down 1. My references also went down 1. Okay, so that's relative. And I like to think of relative as if you were moving and you lived with your family, hopefully, or your family moved and you lived with them, however the case is, that you would move with them when they moved. So if they moved all the way down to here, all the kids in the family would move with them. Okay, so that's kind of how I'd think of it. Relative, when you move, your whole family moves with you. All right, so let's go over here and look at the rate per period. Now, interest rate is always quoted as an annual rate. They're looking at rate per period. We're making monthly payments, okay? So we need to make sure that we break this yearly amount into a monthly amount. And we're going to use that by using an absolute cell reference and referencing this area right here, which is 12 months per year. So I start off my formula, same thing as equals. And I'm going to say my interest rate per year divided by how many months in a year. Now, if you type 12, that would be hard coding. So don't type the 12, click on the 12. And I'm going to press F4. Notice I have dollar signs here. That means that the column is locked and the row is locked and it will not move regardless of which direction I copy, because I can copy down or up, left or right. So here it is. Now I'm going to hit Control Enter. Now, if you press F4 and your volume goes up or your screen gets brighter or less bright, press the FN, and it's usually found in the lower left corner of your keyboard. Press the FN, hold that key while pressing F4, and that should toggle your function keys on and off. All right, so let's send this down. I'm going to just go into edit mode by clicking that bottom cell, hit F2, and I can see that this moved relative because I wanted it to move down as I did, but this one remained the same. It was locked in place because of the $B, $7. Hit escape to get out of the edit mode. All right, now we're going to use a mixed reference. Now, mixed references are the proper way of writing a formula. However, I normally use absolute cell references. But let's write a formula using a mixed reference. So I'm going to go equals. And what I want to know is how many months in a year? Well, I know there's 2 years. How do we figure that out? Well, we're going to multiply that times how many months in a year. And we know from the last one we did, it's 12, and it's up here. To make this the proper way, well, actually, let me make a mistake first, show you what a mistake looks like, and then I'll correct the mistake. Control Enter keeps my cell the active cell. Now, I left this as both parts as relative, so if I copy it down and you get something like this, if I click on the value and hit F2, it's saying I want to take this sale price and multiply it times 3. Well, that's actually not what I want to do. I could grab my outside border and move it up, but then hit Enter. My next one, if I went into F2, would be wrong. And I also see a little error message up here. Well, that's not what I want to do. So let's fix that. So I'm going to go into my formula and I'm going to hit F2. Here's my B7. I'm going to hit F4. That makes it absolute, but I want a mixed reference. And I want the row 7 to be locked. So I hit F4 again, and it just locks the 7. Control Enter, send it down the column. There we are. And now if I go to the bottom one, I can click on my F2 to go into edit mode. I see this one moved relative. This one, even though it was frozen, it's a mixed reference because there's only $1 sign. Hit escape. I'm going to save the file, and I'll see you in the next part.